What's up, guys? It's Tyler, and today I'm joined by head coach Potter after Evil Genius's huge win against Cloud9. Potter, thanks for joining me. Even though the score says 2-0, it felt like this series was really close. I wanted to pick your brain about how the preparations were like for this series and what you think was the difference maker for you guys heading into the series versus Cloud9.
Yeah, the prep was pretty similar to all the other weeks leading up to this match. We were fully aware of what to expect with C9, very much revolving around Icy's, or rather Oxy's picks. I'm thinking about Icy right now because Icebox, because KJ was so insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were pretty familiar with what C9's game plan was going to be. We actually scrimmed them pretty often, about 3 weeks ago. So obviously a lot of time has passed, but we really stuck to our game plan coming into this match more than anything else. So even though we had a lot of info on C9, we've been working really hard on trying to understand what our win conditions are and understand how to activate each other. One of the biggest complaints from the community has been that we're really slow this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're a more slower, some might say methodical team. And that is because we need time. We need time to develop with each other. We need time to build that trust with each other. And we need time to figure out how to activate Yay even more like he did today. So good news is we're finding that sweet spot. Today it showed on the stage. So I'm really proud of the guys.
Yep. I was going to ask you one player you'd like to shout out after that series.
The obvious one that everyone's going to do is Yay, of course. And for sure, I need to shout him out too. But I've got to shout out Superman more than anyone else. Of course, Nature as well, our IGL. He was calling so well. But Superman has been that player on our team that is just irreplaceable. His poise, his composure within the rounds and the information, the communications that he's giving to his teammates, it's something that's just something else. So Superman was reading him like a coloring book the entire series, and it was incredible.
Nice. Now, looking back, right, the stage hasn't been completely perfect for you guys, but I wanted to ask, what's something that you have helped the guys really hammer down and work on over the course of the last few months? What was something that you really wanted to lock on?
Fundamentals on the roles. For Yay especially, coming in, figuring out how to get him comfortable and how to get him in tune with the meta and how 2025 Valorant is played is something that took a lot of time. I spent majority of my time for the past 4 months making sure that Yay was dialed in. And not just that, Icy as well. Icy is a duelist that has a lot to prove. Last year, he was on the bottom of the stats board. And as a duelist, it's really hard to gain confidence when everyone cares about stats. So making sure that Icy doesn't care about the stats, but still at the same time activating him so that he can build confidence and keep doing his job and keep applying that sort of pressure and aggressiveness is something that I had to spend a lot of time on.
Okay. Now, looking ahead, you guys are going to have either a match against, I believe, Crew Esports or MIBR, whoever wins that, right?
No,
is it the
Sen
other?
G2.
Sen G2. Ooh, okay. So I know the whole saying is if you want to win a championship, you got to beat the best. So, but I wanted to ask you, which of those two teams do you think would be a good match for EG and why?
I'll say I think the Sentinels will be a better matchup for us than G2. I think for the storylines, G2 will be a lot more exciting because of Jaw. Jaw Gimo's brother was actually just watching our match as well, and he's somebody that we have a long relationship with for the past couple years. So really appreciate the fact that he was showing his support. So yeah, I think storyline wise versus G2, it would be really spicy. But I think stylistically we match up better versus Sentinels. And I know the guys, I know myself, we want revenge. That last series we got destroyed. We got bullied around by Sentinels, but we were not playing at all like ourselves. So hopefully we get to prove that first time around was not us.
Of course. Now, I have some questions about something away from the games from today. It's about more of a general discussion that's been happening in the Valorant esports community. There have been some pro players and a lot of fans who've been talking about utility, the state of utility in Valorant, and whether it's overshadowing the other parts of the game, like team play, gunplay, and things like that. I know Chronicle from Fnatic was talking about how utility could be changed possibly or something like that. But do you think that it's like a big problem right now? Is it like overblown? Like, what are your thoughts on like the state of utility?
Hmm. I think the discussion happening around it right now is interesting, because it's to me it's the same. Riot aren't doing anything brand new. They're not coming out with new updates and new agents. They've always been pretty clear about what their idea of the tournament circuit's going to be. So I'm not surprised by it. Me and my team have been prepared for it this whole time. I think it's becoming a lot more complex, but to me, Valorant is still the same. Its utility has always been a huge part of this game, and adapting to it and improvising within the rounds has been a huge part of what makes the best players the best players. So I'll say to me, yes, Tejo was game breaking this year, but
Mm,
it's not brand new. It's still Valorant. It's still heavily utility based, and you have to be able to handle it and improvise and adapt within the rounds for it. So it's kind of a hard to have an opinion on it because for me, I'm just always bunkered down and figuring out how to adapt and how to
yeah,
improvise. So I'm
it's the
not
job.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still the same. It's still Valorant. It's all the same to me still.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh, do you think that Teo needs a nerf?
Hmm. You know, I heard something on the grapevine that he was gonna get nerfed and that they were
Mm.
gonna buff Barber, and then we'll
Ooh.
just be complaining about the spam wars and all the
Yeah.
walls blocking off the line of sight. So
Yeah.
I think Valorant is definitely a game that we'll just always have something to complain about.
I guess. Yeah. Valorant players finding reasons to complain about.
Yeah.
Now another topic I wanted to pick your brain about was I don't know if you've seen the issues that have been happening in Europe, EMEA, with their hardware and how
Mm.
things have been falling apart over there. They had to cancel an entire match day for it. But Tens said that players aren't always given the best conditions to perform at their highest potential. And he even said that it was one of the biggest reasons why he retired. I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a similar, like, have you witnessed any complaints or like similar like experiences about the LAN experience over in Americas? Like,
Hmm. I have no comment on that.
okay,
I have
okay,
no comment.
okay. Well, that's all I have for you today, Potter. Thank you so much for joining me, and good luck in the rest of playoffs. Hope to talk to you soon. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.